Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We
It's
have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Glad you could be here. All right, today is the 28th of January. So we look here at our moon sign. We know our sun sign. Our sun sign is Aquarius. Our moon sign is Capricorn. So we have the Aquarius, which is an air sign. Aquarius, words and actions. Capricorn is all about practicality. All about the practicality. It represents Earth. The practicality of Earth. Because the idea is that we have the fire, the water, and the air, and those elements all make up the Earth. And so since those are the elements that make up the Earth, it's important that we don't get caught up in thinking the Earth's the be-all, end-all of everything, because guess what? It isn't. There's the fire, the water, the air that make it up the Earth. So if you go to those elements and understand, it helps you not only understand how to make better Earth, but it also understands you what the makeup of the Earth is so that you can, go forth and create even better. It's like a recipe. That's all it is, basically. Now, these are the cards that represent the symbols. This is the card that represents Aquarius, which you could see is the woman, represents the subconscious, pouring the water of life, the fluid, the liquid, the flowingness of life into there. And the water here represents the unconscious. Okay? It represents the unconscious mind. And as she is pouring the water into the unconscious mind, it represents dipping in there to find the answer. The Hebrew name assigned to this, Zadi, means fish hook, and the whole idea is to be able to bait the hook with a question, throw it down into our subconscious, and then bring that question up as an answer. And so that's the whole idea with this idea of Aquarius. So we're dipping into the subconsciousness to create the future that we want to create, to see that vision of the future. Okay? Now, Capricorn is this one right here, and it's the devil. And it just simply is an illusion. You see these two characters chained to the front here. Well, the chain is an illusion, because if you take the two numbers associated with this card, 15, and the numerology says we're going to reduce them to one number, make it a 6, this actually is a different number, a different representation of the card of the lovers, where the people are free, and we see it's actually an angel. So there's an illusion. The Hebrew letter assigned to this ayin means I. So the whole idea is we want to look past the illusion of what the earth or the physical realm is about. And when we do, we find out that there's something much more than what meets the eye. Sometimes I like to think as the Capricorn character as the one who is the quality control, making sure that before the product goes out that it's been well tested and is going to go out and be effective the way it needs to be. That's what it seems at times. Now also there's the positive aspect of it, which is the practicality, which is the perseverance, continuing to charge forward. So with the Capricorn, there is a great business sense that is available, because there's that understanding of how to persevere through something, to continue on. Okay, so we've got the 28 here. We've got one square to look at, and this is later between our moon sign, Capricorn, and this one here, Uranus, which is unexpected changes, events that are just sort of out of the ordinary, things that come quickly. So with these changes and these events, you know, it shows that there's a square. Maybe certainly something unexpected, something dealing with the Capricorn idea, Capricorn, the physical. So early this afternoon, we'll find out what that might be. All right. All right. And then let's move on here. This week in the sky today, we've got Algol is at minimum brightness for a couple hours, centered at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. In Wednesday's dawn, look for the early, thin, waning crescent moon below Venus, low in the southeast as shown here. So here's what our sky is looking like as we look into it. You'll see the moon here tonight, and Venus out this way. All right. The moon phase currently, as it just showed there, is a waning moon. We only got a little 7% sliver left. On the Mayan Oracle, it's a 12-tone day, which is called the crystal tones of cooperation. It's the idea that you've just gone a long journey, these 13 points here of this wave spell, and we've gotten to the second to the last position. In the last position, we know that we're going to jump off to the next wave spell. So before we do that, we gather together here in cooperation to figure out what it is we've learned so that we can be prepared for the next phase of the journey. And that's what today is. Today is about love. The dog is about love, loyalty. We think about dogs as being loyal. So love, loyalty represents the heart. So we have the cooperation of the heart, cooperation of love, loyalty. And the guide for today here is the wind, inspiration. The phrase for today is, I dedicate in order to love, universalizing loyalty. I seal the process of heart with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of spirit. On the long count, today would be a 4 Akbal and a 1 Pax if you're following on the Hob. We're following on the dream spell, which is the crystal dog, a little different, but it's all part of the same matrix here that we're looking at. Okay. Over to the space weather. Solar wind currently at 349.8. Planetary K index at the moment is quiet, between a 1 and a 2. Nothing much in the way of coronal holes. We go down here and we look at M-class flare possibility is up. It's now up to 50%. So the sun starting to get active. X-class has also gone up 2 more percent to 5. Geomagnetic storm activity is still low, so we'll see how things are unfolding there. Now, what I wanted to bring to the morning discussions, introduce, is numerology, so we can look at that as another way of understanding the energy, because it's all about understanding the energy of the day as we go out into the day. And we have energies all around us, and we have ways that we can look at and interpret the energy. Now, I know that there are a lot of people who are skeptical about this and don't think that this is reality. That's okay. But for those who understand, by simply following the numbers and looking at life, you find a lot of synchronicities and a lot of interesting coincidences that occur. So I want to incorporate the numerology on a daily basis so we can understand and see how we can track the numbers in our lives and see where things are going. So numerology is a very basic principle. Here's a site that you can use as a reference, Numerology.com. It says numerology is the universal language of numbers, and each of us was born with a set of numbers unique to us. These numbers unlock the door to the depths of our personality and reveal the way we interact with others. Lessons we've yet to learn, opportunities will be given, and challenges we'll face at specific periods of our lives or throughout our life as a whole. And if we go down here, and if we look at, here we have core numbers. Oh, yeah, let me just back up. You know what? So basically what you have, use this as a reference point here, but basically what you have is 0 through 9. And it's a progression. 0 starts off as, it could either be the last or the first, because it's the 0 connecting the beginning and the end. It represents, in tarot cards, it represents the card of the Fool, which is all about the superconscious energy. So everything starts with this superconscious energy, this energy zipping into life. And then it goes through the progression of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it starts over again. And when it does, the numbers now double. So we look at each of the numbers, and there's a meaning that's assigned to them. 1 has a particular meaning, which is the beginning of things. Everything unifies. 2 is when that number 1 separates, so there's a bit of a challenge that goes with it. And what you'll notice is the numbers as they are read with the Mayan Oracle, the 1 through 9, all the definitions are the same ones that are being given here, because numbers have the same meaning. So it doesn't matter if you're looking at numerology or astrology or something with Kabbalistic, or if you're looking at the I Ching, doesn't matter. Numbers are numbers, and you look at their meaning and you can understand something about them. And if you do follow along with the numbers, it's really interesting. So what we're going to look at is, let's go look at today. Today we have a 28, okay? 28, and our year is 2014. So we're going to look at the year, and we're going to use a process called Numerology. We're going to take these numbers. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. Okay, 7 is the number that we get when we use the numerological process to reduce these down to a single digits. Okay, so we've got a 7 is our number for the year. And then, in order to advance that to any day, we're going to now add in the number of the day. Today would be a 2 plus 8, so that is a 10. So we have a 7, and then we have a 2 plus 8, and that's 17, correct? And then we're going to add in one more, because January is the first month, and we get numbers 1 plus 2 plus 8 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4, and we add them all together and they equal 18. So 18 is the number of today, the numerology of the day. Now the way I like to look at it is, because there's 22 major arcana that tie in with the tarot and the Kabbalistic system, if there's a number that falls within that 22, then I look to see what that number means, and then I break it down through the theosophic subtraction method, and I break it down to its lowest number to look at that meaning also. That way I can kind of understand something deeper. So 18 in the tarot cards is the card that is the card of the moon. It's following the path into the darkness, but trusting the light that shines within us. So that is the bigger number, but we reduce that down. 1 and 8 is 9. And 9 is actually the number of today, and 9 is the tarot card of the Hermit. 9 is the last of the single numbers, and it represents a unity of everything that has come up to this point, and it's a gathering of wisdom. In the card of the tarot, we have a person holding the lantern up high, the wise person wearing a gray colored robe. They're holding the lantern up high for others to see, so they can shine that light, because they've gathered this wisdom. So that's what number 9 is. Number 9 is a time where you've gathered the wisdom, and now you're ready to shine. Okay, so that's where we're at today. So tomorrow we'll progress differently. Tomorrow will be we'll look at this numbers, but we'll progress it by one day. So instead of it being an 18, tomorrow will be a 19, because we add one more number to it. And then the next day will be a 20. But once we get to this number here, and it becomes a 19, then we're going to reduce the 9 plus the 1 is the 10, and the 1 plus the 0 is the 1. So tomorrow will go back to be a 1 day, because today was a 9, so tomorrow goes back to 1, and then a 2, and so on. So the numbers progress. So what you find out is you look at these different systems, whether it's the Mayan calendar or astrology or numerology, they're all talking about wheels within wheels within wheels. So it's learning to see time on many different levels, not just the time on the wristwatch here on 3D Earth, but time as the universe has it moving along as well. Okay? So we'll do this every day. It'll be quicker certainly every day after this first explanation, but use the link if you want to have any reference points about numerology, and every day we'll go over that and we'll just see how that guides us along. So today is a 9-day. Today we have the Aquarian Sun and we have a Capricorn Moon. So we have wind for the conscious mind, air, we have earth for the unconscious, and we have a number 9, which is the final number that's moving forward, shining the light high for all to see. All right, UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Let's see what we have here. First story is a review of December. It says National UFO Alert, 4 states report 155 December cases. It's a lot of reports over the course of the month. The National UFO Alert rating system has been updated for January 2014, with California, Florida, Texas, and Arizona moving to a UFO Alert 3 as the highest reporting states during the month of December 2013, filed with the Mutual UFO Network. California was the leading high reporting state in December with 68 cases, up from 56 in November, 77 in October, and 70 September. 97 in August, 91 in July, 72 in June, 67 in May, 47 in April, 59 in March, 53 February, and 63 in January. Those states in the UFO 4 category with 13 or more include Ohio, North Carolina, Minnesota, and Pennsylvania. All other states moved to a UFO Alert 5 category with lower numbers of UFO activity. The watch states with 10 or more cases are Colorado, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Missouri, New York, Washington, Virginia, and Michigan. MUFON released December statistics on January 1st, where the total number of reported UFO sightings is listed by state. The UFO Examiner uses these statistics to rate states. The entire country was moved back to the lowest alert level, UFO Alert 5. All right. So there you go. That's what's going on as far as past sightings and for December. Now, we've got some UFOs in the skies up in Mars, which you'd expect because that is outer space and that is where the spaceships do fly. UFO discovered in the Mars sky. We got the source photos here. You see it's Mars JPL photos. Another UFO is caught in a Mars rover photo. If you look at it closely, you will see it has a trail behind it. It looks to be moving to the upper right side of the photo. There you go. Again, this was a Street Cap 1 capture. So he's certainly on top of it. Okay. Moving on, we look also at Mars, and here is another sighting that was discovered. This was a object, is described as a tomb, and it has a strange comparison to this looking object down here on Earth in Japan. Ancient tomb discovered on Mars looks similar to Japanese tomb. This amazing structure was found on Mars this week and has a lot of similarities to the ancient Japanese tomb in Konfun. Although we may never know in our lifetime until an expedition dig is sent to explore the ancient ruins, it really does look similar to the tomb in Japan. If you want to look for yourself, just copy and paste the coordinates above into the Google search box, but you must hit the button on the bar at the top of the screen to switch from Earth view to view Mars. Alright, and this is a 4-minute 45-second video. And there's our object in question. Alright, set of links available so you can check it out. This next one here is over France. Daytime triangular formation above France on the 23rd. Here's what we're seeing. It says, filmed a beautiful clear triangular formation in the blue sky and a nice morning in the countryside. I'm still wondering if it's an orb formation or just a single transparent ship spying the area. Okay, you see me a triangle right in there? Right in that area there. Okay, that's above France. Now, for those of you who are in the Phoenix area, we have Grant Cameron, who's going to be a guest speaker at MUFON. So if you get an opportunity to listen to him speak, please check it out. Acclaimed Canadian research writer Grant Cameron will present a paradigm-shifting lecture at the January 18th Phoenix MUFON at the University of Advancing Technology. Aha, it already happened. So you guess you missed it if you didn't make it. But anyway, Grant Cameron was there. And let's see here. It goes on to say that he was at the January 18 Phoenix MUFON meeting at the University of Advanced Technology. Winner of last year's Researcher of the Year award in the field, Cameron is the vanguard of an effort to shift the paradigm of ufology itself, a refreshing fact of a larger scale paradigm shift developing in American society. Its long overdue development having been defined decades ago by the iconic Jacques Vallée, once a colleague of J. Allen Hynek at Project Blue Book, now a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley. Cameron is a handful of speakers who sees the field in relation to larger currents and change in society and has taken key observations from history to extract metadata from the reports. So there's plenty of information on Grant, and we'll certainly do some more, but alright, let's move on here. Alright, these are some good articles from UFO Digest. This one brings up a good question, and certainly hear this discussion more and more. ET control, UFOs, or religious beings. From this point forward, I will offer a brief observation that I feel are important in the understanding the true nature of life, our reality, our world, including reflections in science, religion, history, philosophy, and ethics. The first is included below. During the experience at the 68th and Garland Streets in Lincoln, Chapter 7 in the book Element Discovery, at the first house in which we lived, the mysterious voice, one of the primary mysterious intelligence, levitated a young boy and I up into a large object that hovered about 100 feet above us. There we were told several things that involved who they were, what they were doing, and how I would be involved possibly throughout my life, and what humans would live within our lifetimes, amongst other things. I was 2 or 3 years old. The thing that is somewhat shocking is that they had control over us to a degree, but they didn't proceed with activities until they received permission from our mothers and the other boy and I. Yet because of several periods of being rendered helplessness through some mysterious force, through superior psychological means or some other way, I felt that neither I nor my mother had ultimate control of our wills. This happened also during most encounters. Even though I resisted forcefully at times, they were patient and waited until they convinced me that I should cooperate. This also applied to my mother and my father, yet it seemed as if my mother and father were also sometimes rendered helpless. This indicates to me that the mysterious intelligences do indeed have final control, but prefer to include us in the decision-making process of what will happen next. And of course, if the information we receive at the Sheridan Creek Fire Guard cabin was true, the lead entity or personality of the mysterious intelligences was indeed the Archangel Michael, who was working for the head personality, who they said was the entity of Christ, who I was told is in charge of this corner of the universe. And if you accept all of this truth, whatever the end truth truly is, their motives seem to have been positive, at least to me and others of us who are in the Christian faith. and if my observances are indeed accurate, my encounters, regardless of the Christian implications, give a somewhat new insight to what the spiritual and UFO worlds are, and how these worlds interact with humans. Yet in the end, this doesn't mean that all spiritual new activity is Christian based. The ultimate purpose of my encounters seemed to have been my improvement as a human being, so that I would eventually commit myself to the project, which I was shown through actual future experiences and told verbally, including aiding orphans, especially those from the south of the border. I believe it's interesting that I have not yet accepted my assignment, which I was physically, mentally, and spiritually conditioned and trained to accomplish throughout my life, and I will not cooperate in the future unless I receive definite assurance that it is all for the good of humankind, and that we know and what we know as God. I believe those who are committed to UFO encounters being nothing but evil need to link common aspects of overt sightings, contactee encounters, abductee encounters, spiritual phenomenal occurrences in religious literature, reports of ghosts, other paranormal phenomena, strange historical accounts, and the myths of legends, etc. Then try to pull all the pieces together and try to understand. In my opinion, it's all bigger than all of us humans. Alright, and let's look at one more piece here. This is a story that takes us back to Roswell. It says, "Out of this world, the great disaster at Roswell." After reading all 5 volumes of Charles J. Hall's Millennial Hospitality series, I found that they gave me a greater insight into ET life on Earth than ever before. The 5 volumes of Millennial Hospitality are wonderful and informative books. Below I present a brief synopsis of Hall's account regarding the Roswell UFO incident, the crashes, and the details of the causes and the recoveries. I recently emailed Charles J. Hall and asked him if he had gotten any help with the analysis of extraterrestrials, their biology, behavior, and their histories. Mr. Hall basically said no. His account is principally and essentially personal experience, as I already inferred from our correspondence. So it's a big long piece here, and I'm going to leave that for you to check out. We'll get to the rest of this information tomorrow, but I want to move on. That is our UFO news for today. Stay tuned. I'll be back with some more stories.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Alright, let's continue on. So this piece right here, some Renaissance art that was discovered. It says Renaissance art to the end times revealed in Rediscovered Apocalyptic book. Very interesting, all those dragons in the sky there. Dragons over Bohemia. It says in 1533, hundreds of dragons were reported to darken the skies over Bohemia following a 1506 sighting of a blinding bright comet slicing over the sky. Were these foreboding occurrences signs of the apocalypse, or just a lot of Renaissance hearsay? In the 16th century, a diligent scribe and artist chronicled these other portents of woe in a book that was rediscovered a few years ago. The book, with its 169 pages and vibrant illustrations, was surprisingly intact when it went to auction in 2007 in Munich, and after it was sold to James Faber, a London-based dealer, it was revealed to even be more mysterious than previously believed, and about a century older. Now Taschen has recently published the edition of the Book of Miracles, so anyone can brood over its strange contents. The book dates to the 1550s in the Swabian Imperial Free City of Augsburg, and now part of the Bavarian region of Germany. As a clever touch, the Taschen version also included the reverse sides of each gouache and watercolored image with its scrawled description, and it all preceded by art historical essays by Till Holger Borchett and Joshua P. Waterman. This Friday at Art Gallery on Madison Avenue in Manhattan, there's a launch with the book. This presentation by Borchert, who serves the chief curator at the Goen Museum in Bruges. So, I just thought it would be interesting, so I just want you to kind of see this. This was interesting, but just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Because I think it's just another sign. There's a lot of signs that we are coming to some very important times facing us. One thing that certainly we want to be aware of is, around the planet. Here it's forget global warming, worry about the magnetosphere. Earth's magnetic field is collapsing and it could affect the climate and wipe out power grids. Deep within the Earth, a fierce molten core is generating a magnetic field capable of defending our planet against devastating solar winds. The protective field extends thousands of miles into space, and its magnetism affects everything from global communication to animal migration and weather patterns. But this magnetic field, so important to life on Earth, has weakened by 15% over the last 200 years, and this, scientists claim, could be a sign that the Earth's poles are about to flip. Experts believe we're currently overdue a flip, but they're uncertain when this could occur. If a switch happens, we could be exposed to solar winds capable of punching holes into the ozone layer. The impact could be devastating for mankind, knocking out the power grids, radically changing Earth's climate, and driving up rates of cancer. This is serious business. Richard Holm, professor of the Earth, Ocean, and Ecological Services at Liverpool, told Mail Online. Imagine for a moment your electrical power supply was knocked out for a few months. Very little works without electricity these days. So this isn't the first time that we've heard of something like this. I think it's important to, again, look at this and not get caught up in the fearfulness of this, because we are here on this planet. I don't believe that we're all put here so that we would be fried. I think we're here to experience and to grow and to evolve. And so whatever's going on is part of a process. And if you think about all the power that the Earth has available to it, I'm pretty certain it outnumbers any kind of power that humankind can put out many, many times over. So perhaps there may seem to be some weakening because science sees it as such. But perhaps the planet has a few more tricks up her sleeve to protect itself than we might be aware of. After all, it has been around for millions of years, right? Alright, so you probably saw the Grammys. And if you hadn't, you probably heard about the Grammys. I certainly know I have. I didn't watch it, but I certainly have had a number of conversations. And the question that keeps being brought up is, did you see all the satanic influence at the Grammys? I mean, people are seeing this very clearly now. Here's an article. It says, mass wedding at the 2014 Grammys criticized as political stunt to push gay marriage agenda. Natalie Grant responds after leaving early. The mass wedding held at the 56th annual Grammy Awards Sunday night has sparked controversy and has been criticized as a political stunt to promote same-sex marriage. The mass wedding involved 33 homosexual and heterosexual couples and took place as Macklemore and Ryan Lewis performed a rendition of their pro-gay marriage anthem, Same Love. The segment, which has been criticized by many for being inappropriate in the music awards, also featured Madonna and Mary Lambert. The wedding mass was presided over and officially by Queen Latifah, who is deputized by Los Angeles County to legally conduct wedding ceremonies. The couples exchanged rings as Queen Latifah said, music has the power to bring people together at the Grammys. The song is about love, not for some, but for all of us. Then she officiated the marriages by introducing the couples. It is my distinct honor to ask the participants to exchange rings. And she married the couples. So, not only this, but it was also noticed, there was it was brought up to me some sort of burning ceremony with Madonna as a witch, and people were noticing there's something going on out there. So I wanted to bring that up because it's so important that we are aware. Okay, We're seeing the picture I showed you. Now tie them together. The first picture I showed you of the book and the Renaissance times and all of these dragons in the sky. We hear stories about pole flips. We hear stories about coming to the end of times. All of this is kind of tying in. There's a lot of darkness pouring in there. And when it becomes so blatant that people are seeing on television, then, where does it go from there? Because obviously those in the television no longer care. Those in the music industry that are out there that are putting this darkness out there, they no longer care that that they're doing it. So we need to find ways to contradict that, and the best way to do that is we just need to keep shining the light. Shining the light. And that leads us into Jesus. Because there's no better way to shine the light than to be aware of the way in which Jesus shined the light into the darkness around him. So here is a link to the complete sayings of Jesus. Okay, it's at sacred-texts.com. It says, like the Jefferson Bible, this is an attempt to edit the four Gospels into a consistent account, in this case focusing on the words of Jesus. There is plenty of connecting narrative around the instances where Jesus speaks, so this is better than simply presenting each quote out of context. The focus on what Jesus is attributed to as saying makes it easier to browse the core text of the New Testament. All in all, a very useful reference and a great read. And so let's see here. Let us go to, as you can see, we have a lot of different choices here. So let's just pick one here. As Jesus was praying in a certain place, when he ceased, one of his disciples said unto him, Lord, teach us to pray. Also, as John also taught his disciples, Jesus said unto them, when ye pray, say, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us day by day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, for we also forgive every one that is indebted to us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And he said unto them, Which of you shall have a friend, and shall go unto him at midnight, and say unto him, Friend, lend me 3 loaves, for a friend of mine in his journey is come to me, and I have nothing set before him? And he from within shall answer and say, Trouble me not, the door is now shut, and my children are with me in bed. I cannot rise and give thee. I say unto you, though he will not rise and give him, because he is his friend, yet because of his inopportunity he will rise and give him as many as he needeth. And I say unto you, Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For every one that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and him that knocketh it shall be opened. If a son ask bread of any of you that is a father, will he give him a stone? Or if he asks a fish, will he give him a fish? For a fish will he give him a serpent? Or if he asks an egg, will he offer him a scorpion? If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your heavenly Father give the Holy Spirit to them that ask him? And it came to pass, as he spake these things, a certain woman of the company lifted her voice and said, Blessed is the womb that bare thee, and the paps which thou hast sucked. But Jesus said, Yea, rather blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. When the people were gathered thick together, he began to say, This is an evil generation. They seek a sign, and there shall be no sign given, but the sign of Jonas the prophet. For as Jonas was a sign unto the Ninevites, so shall the Son of Man be to this generation. When the queen of the south shall rise up in the judgment with the men of this generation, and condemn them, for she came from the utmost parts of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon, and behold, a greater than Solomon is here. The men of Nineveh shall rise up in the judgment with this generation, and shall condemn it, for they repented at the preaching of Jonas, and behold, the greater than Jonas is here. No man, when he hath lighted a candle, put it under a secret place, neither under a bushel, but on a candlestick, that they which come in may see the light. The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thine eye is single, thine whole body is full of light. But when thine eye is evil, thy body is also full of darkness. Take heed, therefore, that the light which is in thee be not darkness. If thy whole body be therefore full of light, having no part dark, the whole shall be full of light, as when the bright shining of a candle doth give thee light. As Jesus spake, a certain Pharisee besought him to dine with him. He went in and sat down to meat. The Pharisee marveled that Jesus had not washed before dinner. The Lord said to him, Now do ye, Pharisee, make clean the outside of the cup and the platter, but your inward part is full of ravening and wickedness. Yea, fools, did not he that made that which is without make that which is within also? But rather give alms of such things as ye have, and behold, all things are clean unto you. But woe unto you, Pharisee, for ye tithe mint and rue and all manners of herbs, and pass over judgments the love of God. These ought ye be have done, and not to leave the other undone. Woe unto you, Pharisees, for ye love the uppermost seats in the synagogue, and greetings in the markets. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are the graves which appear not, and the men that walk over them are not aware of them. Then answered one of the lawyers, Master, thus saying thou reproachest us also. Jesus said, Woe unto you also, ye lawyers, for ye laden men with burdens grievous to be borne, and ye yourselves touch not the burdens with one of your fingers. Woe unto you, for we build the sepulchres of the prophets, and your fathers killed them. Truly ye bear witness that ye allow the deeds of your fathers, for they indeed killed them, and ye build their sepulchres. Therefore he said, the wisdom of God, I will send them prophets and apostles, and some of them they shall slay and persecute, and the blood of all the prophets which was shed from the foundation of the world may be required of this generation, from the blood of Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, which perished between the altar and the temple. Verily I say unto you, I shall be required of this generation. Woe unto you, lawyers, for ye have taken away the key of knowledge. Ye entered not in yourselves, and then that were entering in ye hindered. And he said these things, and the scribes and the Pharisees began to provoke him to speak of many things, laying wait for him to catch something out of his mouth that they might accuse him. All right, so Jesus was a rebel. He didn't take the nonsense. He stood up against what was going on in the same way that we need to stand up against what's going on. Because if we don't, then we've got a problem. We've got a bigger problem. All right. Now, one reason why it is important to be aware of what is going on with something like the Grammys is because music is something that's such important in the world. Music, sound, vibration, and it affects things. If the source of music that is going out into the world has a satanic influence, a dark influence to it, it's not going to go out and create positive things. If you listen to the words of some of the songs that are coming out from these artists that are being put out there in the mainstream at the Grammys, they're very dark. So we need to pay attention to the sound that's going on around us. It makes all the difference in the world. I know a lot of people just get caught up in the rhythm and they don't listen to the words, but those words are equally as important. Here's an article. It's called How Sound is Keeping Humanity Enslaved. In the recent Global Energy Breakthrough Conference in Boulder, Colorado, Michael Tellinger shared his theory that sound is one of the most abundant forms of free energy on the planet. He said that sound is the primordial source of all things and is the common denominator of all creation. With that being said, If an extraterrestrial race wanted to harvest energy from the planet and create such energy with sound. Michael Tellinger is a South African scientist explorer and founder of the Ubuntu Liberation Movement. His interest in ancient archaeology started with the study of ancient stone circles near his home in South Africa. In the video of his speech at the conference, which is attached at the end of the article, Michael explains the basics of the ancient artifacts that have been found that were used to generate sound, and further explains how sound was used as energy to levitate objects in order to create the movements that opened vortices, which allowed spacecraft to come and go. Small round circles in the shape of donuts or trousers and ice cream shaped stones were found all over the landscape in South Africa and across the world. At one time, these beads or donut shaped crystalline stones had a higher trade value than gold because of their ability to generate energy through sound. The ice cream cone shaped stone properties, which ring and reverberate with the human frequencies of sound when struck. Stone columns serve as an antenna and are found in many ancient sites. The race of beings that dominate the control of the planet today as the Illuminati are speculated by many sources to be a race of ETs called the Anunnaki. The story is that the Anunnaki came to Earth to create human beings that could enslave and mine gold for them. The gold was needed to repair their planet's atmosphere. Michael estimates that there are more than 10 million stone circle runes in South Africa that were used to presumably connect and form sound energy grids that would allow the Anunnaki spaceships to come and get shipments of gold. This was in the time of Enki, or in the time of the legend of Adam and Eve. With the discovery that most ancient sites with monolithic structures are located along the grid lines of Earth, the bigger picture comes into play. The Anunnaki scientists built these first energy conductors like the circular stone runes in South Africa, and then began to build more powerful monuments along Earth's ley lines. Stonehenge and the pyramids of Giza are basic examples, but they continue to get more powerful and complex with each generation. Alright, there's more to this article. Says this article just touched on the key points of his video and the attention to give humanity a few more clues how to crush the energy harvesters. Okay, so see there's a video here for you to check it out. It's an hour and 15 minutes long. Sound is very important. That's why we work with the meditations. That's why we work with the energies around us, as we understand that energy has different ways in which it operates, and understand the energy fields around us. It really helps us to move through life smoothly if we know that there's an energy grid that's being set up to stop us or block us or hinder us. Then we can find ways to counteract that, definitely by understanding energy. Alright? Alright. Moving on. This is message here for today. This is the message from Jesus.
Life path is a journey of great importance and significance that is mostly hidden from you.
January 26, 2014, by John Smallman.
Here in the spiritual realms we are all deeply indebted to you for your ongoing and frequently exhausting earth journeys as you work non-stop. Yes, you do really work non-stop, waking, sleeping, and dreaming, to bring your brothers and sisters to awakening by constantly sending them love. What you are doing, and achieving, is quite amazing. Each of your individual functions and contributions in this ongoing awakening process is essential to it. Without your combined collective intentions and efforts it would not happen. Do not let the fact that for the most part you do not get any sense of the importance and significance of what you are doing, or of our presence among you assisting you, worry you, or cause you anxiety, because what you are doing is enormously powerful and effective, and only you can do it. And of course when you awaken, what you have brought about will be there in plain sight for you to see, acknowledge, and probably marvel at. You are, and always will be greatly honored for your earth journeys, where for most of the time it has seemed to you that you are struggling unsupported in a task that is way beyond your capabilities. It is not. And you are bringing it rapidly to a state of fulfillment. The task you chose to embark on for this particular earth life has been very difficult for many of you, and before you chose to do it you knew that this would be the case, but with the help of wisdom, advice, and mentoring from your spiritual guides you planned most carefully to ensure that it would be well within your capabilities. You knew that it would be hard because you would be unable to remember any details of your pre-planning, and consequently each moment would arrive, as it were, unannounced, presenting you with surprises and choices that were often unappealing. However, you also knew that you could not fail because of the divine field of love enveloping you and supporting you in every moment. There truly are no accidents. Everything that occurs is part of a larger plan to provide all involved with the lessons that they wish to learn and thus bring them firmly and steadily forwards towards their awakening. And that awakening is most definitely a done deal, nothing can prevent it. As you cope with your individual doubts, worries, anxieties, and suffering, remind yourselves frequently that you are divinely supported in every moment, that you are continually making sterling progress, just as intended, and that the secret of finding peace as you follow this demanding earthly path is to surrender to each moment as it occurs. Do not look back at opportunities apparently missed. They are gone, over, finished with, and all that you need to do now is address this present moment. If it seems to you that you have made one or several ghastly errors, focus on the fact that each one of them can teach you something very important or has already done so, and rejoice that you have grown from the experience, because you undoubtedly have, even if it is not immediately apparent to you. It can be helpful to recall, very briefly without dwelling there, errors you have seemingly made that later resulted in an unexpected improvement in your life or your situation. None of you have made errors from which no lessons have been learned nor benefits obtained. You just need to let go of the ego need to not make mistakes and the consequential need to castigate yourselves when you do so. As humans living the illusion, you cannot see the way ahead clearly, and errors are therefore going to be made, so be kind, forgive yourselves, and others, and move on. You can learn enormous amounts in moments if you live in the moment, instead of dwelling on and regretting the past and anxiously worrying about what the future holds for you. You planned the life path you are experiencing with great forethought to enable you to learn the lessons with which it would present you. You knew it would not be a rose garden, and it is unhelpful to look at the apparently happier life experiences that others are undergoing and feel that therefore you are being unfairly treated by life. The path you are experiencing and following is the most appropriate one for you, and you can have absolutely no idea of the suffering and pain others have undergone that have led them to where they are. Your human life path is a journey of great importance and significance that is mostly hidden from you, and so it is very easy for you to view another's path with yearning and envy because it seems to offer them all that you wish for. And that, of course, can seem very unfair, especially if it appears to you that they are not truly appreciative of their good fortune. This is one of the reasons that you are constantly reminded not to judge, because you can have no idea what it is that you are judging as you see only the surface of something that is amazingly deep, and therefore hidden from your view. No one's human life path is easy. It may often appear to you that others have a very good life, are perhaps spoilt, are in fact having a life of ease and luxury that you envy and that they do not deserve. But this is never the case. Every life path offers precisely what is needed in the moment. No one has been cheated into following a path unsuited to them, or given one that offers them unfair advantages over anyone else. Everyone's path is perfect for them, and for them alone. So when you are feeling down, hard done by, alone, and unappreciated, go within. Within you have instant access to your guides and to the love that our Father offers every one of us constantly. Focus your attention on the inner knowing that each one of you has, confirming that you are an irreplaceable and absolutely essential aspect of your source. Disregard any adverse judgments that you believe others are making of you, and let go of any adverse judgments you hold against yourselves, because none of them are valid. You are, and always will be, a dearly loved child of God, a perfect aspect of Him that has chosen to undergo a very difficult experience to assist in bringing all His children to awakening. And for that you are highly honored, because to be a human is to take on an incredibly difficult task and to succeed. Your loving brother, Jesus.
Alright, very good. Message, important points. Today's affirmation. Let's Go ahead and close your eyes. Let's do the meditation today. Alright. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Today's affirmation: peace within allows me to flow without and creates a continuum of energy that moves my soul on a clear pathway. This is my journey. This becomes me. Peace within allows me to flow without and creates a continuum of energy that moves my soul on a clear pathway. This is my journey. This becomes me. And imagine peace unfolding before you like a path. And imagine walking along the path of peacefulness. And as you do, you see the animals running along the sides of the road, sides of the path, playing peacefully. You feel the wind blowing gently and the sun shining. And everything is peaceful and calm. And as you step back, take a wider perspective, you begin to notice that this peace and calm is a center point within you. And that whenever that there is a point in time when things get chaotic, we all have the ability to find our way back to this peaceful center within ourselves, just by closing our eyes and imagining this peaceful center. And in that place of peacefulness, we're able to see clearly the signs around us, to hear the words of wisdom being whispered in the air, and to feel the change that is moving through the cosmos. Take another deep breath. Imagine inhaling light and exhale out. And just let go of all of the residual doubts and fears that may exist. Take another deep breath. Inhale some more light. Let it cleanse through all of your chakras in your being to cleanse out any doubts and fears, and exhale. And just feel the peacefulness. Now, from this place of peacefulness, just imagine what is in your mind's eye to manifest. And know in this place, this peaceful place, you have an opportunity to put together, organize, and then manifest that which you desire. So come back to this peaceful place often, now that you know where it is. And let us return back to the present moment and the activities of the day. So let our subconscious mind continue on the path of peace, and let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale, and open your eyes. That's it. Thank you, my friends, for being here. I'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. Have an awesome day. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.